If you checked your bank account today and saw a deposit land, that's not a coincidence. February 25th is the official CPP and OAS payment date for this month, and if you haven't seen that money yet, you need to keep watching, because something in your file may need your attention right now. Welcome. My name is Joseph, and this is Canada Pension Guide, the channel built to help Canadian retirees understand exactly what they're owed, when to expect it, and how to make sure not a single dollar slips through the cracks. Today we are talking about the February 25th, 2026 payment, what it includes, what may have changed in your amount this year, and one update that a surprising number of retirees are completely unaware of heading into 2026. So stay with me, because by the end of this video you will know exactly where you stand. Now before we go any further, I want to mention something that many retirees often overlook heading into this new benefit year. There is a specific income threshold tied to your net world income from 2025 that can quietly reduce your OAS payment through something called the OAS recovery tax. Most people know it as the clawback. We are going to walk through exactly how that works later in this video, and I am going to give you the updated 2026 number you need to watch. So do not skip ahead. Let's start with what landed in your account today. If you are receiving the Canada Pension Plan CPP, your February 25th payment reflects your standard monthly entitlement for 2026. This amount is calculated based on how long you contributed to the plan during your working years, and at what age you chose to begin collecting. For 2026, CPP payments have been adjusted to reflect the annual indexation increase tied to the Consumer Price Index. That means if your cost of living went up last year, your CPP payment should reflect a modest increase this January. If you did not see an increase and you believe you should have, that is worth investigating, and I will tell you exactly how later in this video. OAS Old Age Security is a separate benefit, and it works differently. OAS is adjusted quarterly based on changes in the cost of living as measured by the Consumer Price Index. The January to March 2026 quarter reflects the most recent adjustment, and for many recipients that means a slightly higher payment than what you were receiving at the end of 2025. The maximum OAS payment for recipients aged 65 to 74 for this quarter has been updated, and if you are 75 or older, you continue to receive the enhanced amount, which includes the permanent 10% increase that was applied to that age group. If your payment does not reflect the updated quarterly amount, your file may need attention. Now, if you are also receiving the Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS, this is where 2026 brings something especially important. The GIS is income tested, it is not taxable, and it is reassessed every July based on your previous year's tax return. That means your GIS for the current benefit period was set based on your 2024 income. But here is what matters right now. If your income dropped significantly in 2025, you may be eligible to request an early reassessment using your actual 2025 income rather than waiting for the automatic July adjustment. That could mean more money in your pocket months earlier than you expected. This is subject to review and approval through Service Canada, but it is absolutely worth exploring if your financial situation changed last year. Here is something I want you to understand clearly, and I say this with full conviction. The system is not designed to be simple. The Canada Revenue Agency and Service Canada operate on overlapping timelines, updated thresholds, quarterly adjustments, and forms that most people have never heard of. That is not a criticism, it is just the reality of programs that have been built and layered over decades. And most retirees encounter all of this at once, right at the moment in life when they least need additional stress. That is why this channel exists. My job is to stand between you and that complexity, to translate it into plain language, to make sure you are not leaving money behind because of a missed deadline or a number you did not know had changed. And speaking of numbers that changed, let's talk about the OAS clawback for 2026. The OAS recovery tax applies when your net world income for the previous tax year exceeds the government's established threshold. For 2026, That threshold based on your 2025 net income has been updated in line with indexation. Historically, this threshold has sat in the range of $90,000 to $93,000, and the 2026 figure will follow that same indexation pattern. If your income exceeded the threshold, CRA reduces your OAS by 15 cents for every dollar above it, and that repayment is typically spread across your monthly OAS payments throughout the year. Now, most OAS recipients are well below this threshold, and if that is you, you have nothing to worry about here. But if you had a one-time income event in 2025, a home sale, a large RRSP withdrawal, a lump sum pension payout, or significant investment gains, that income is included in your net world income calculation, and it may have temporarily pushed your total above the threshold in a way that is now quietly reducing your monthly benefit. If that is your situation, there are legitimate options available to you. Service Canada does have a process for income fluctuation, and depending on your circumstances, you may be eligible to have your benefit restored or adjusted. Always verify your specific situation directly with Service Canada, as eligibility is subject to individual review. This is exactly the kind of information that does not arrive in a letter from the government. It arrives here because this community deserves to understand the full picture. And speaking of this community, I want to stop here and ask you something directly, because the conversation that happens in the comments of this channel is one of the most valuable things we have built together. I'd like to hear from you. Which province are you watching from? And has the rising cost of living in 2025 and into 2026 affected the real purchasing power of your pension? Drop your province and your honest experience in the comments below. It helps other Canadians in your exact situation feel less alone, and it helps me understand what is actually happening on the ground across this country. Write your province and share what you are seeing. Every comment gets read. Now let's talk about what you should do today right after this video ends. Step 1. Log into your My Service Canada account and verify your direct deposit information is current. Banking details are one of the most common reasons payments are delayed, redirected, or flagged for review. If you recently changed banks, changed accounts, or moved, this step is critical. It takes under 5 minutes. If you do not yet have a My Service Canada account, I have a setup walkthrough linked in the description below. Step 2. Locate your T4A slip for the 2025 tax year. Service Canada issues this slip to report the CPP and OAS benefits you received in 2025. You will need it to file your 2025 tax return, and filing accurately and on time is what protects your GIS eligibility for the July 2026 benefit reassessment. Your T4A is available digitally inside your My Service Canada account if you have not received a physical copy. Step 3. Review your GIS eligibility based on your 2025 income. If your income was lower in 2025 than in 2024, perhaps you retired fully, reduced your hours, had lower investment returns, or experienced a change in household income, you may now qualify for the GIS or qualify for a higher amount than you are currently receiving. You can apply or request a reassessment through Service Canada, and eligibility is always determined on an individual basis based on your specific circumstances. 3 steps. That is your entire action plan today. Check your deposit, find your T4A, review your GIS. These 3 actions can protect your payments and potentially increase what you receive going forward. I want to close with something I genuinely mean. You earned this. Everything we have talked about today, CPP, OAS, GIS, these are not handouts. These are the result of decades of contributions, decades of work, and decades of building a life in this country. You paid into these programs. You are entitled to every dollar you qualify for, and you deserve to understand exactly how they work. The system can feel overwhelming. The thresholds change, the forms are confusing, the language is dense, and sometimes it feels like the information you need is deliberately buried. That is exactly why Canada Pension Guide exists, so that when February 25th arrives, or any other payment date in 2026, you know what to expect, you know if something looks wrong, and you know precisely what to do about it. If this video helped you today, please subscribe to Canada Pension Guide and turn on the notification bell. These programs update regularly quarterly adjustments, annual indexation, CRA deadline changes, and when anything shifts that affects your pocket, you will hear about it here first, in plain language, from someone who is always on your side. Thank you for watching. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.